Simon Newton, the former bodyguard for the rich and famous.
Apart from Michael Jackson, which was quite a lot before I did the Michael Jackson job when I was on leave from Afghanistan. So we do everything. So bodyguards, obviously, surveillance, close protection, asset protection. We do a lot of like private events, so celebrity weddings and stuff like that. I remember when I first went to Baghdad, told my mum I was working in Kuwait, and we got rocketed. I was on the 18th floor in the Palestine Hotel in Baghdad, and we used to eat up there. We got rocketed and they slammed into the side of the lift shaft of the 12th floor and caught on fire. So obviously anything that got hit there got reported on instantly. I think it's CNN put it up. I got caught walking out the lobby of the hotel while it was on fire in my shorts and t-shirt with my AK-47, and my mum had seen it.
What's going on, guys? This video is sponsored by Louis. Some of you know him on Insta as Loads, one of the best Instagram names, let me tell you that. Guys, Louis has been building online businesses for the last 5 to 10 years, and he has spent the last 5 years coaching others one-to-one on how to start businesses. Louis's got over 2,000 profitable testimonials, and guys, let me be honest with you, I wouldn't let someone sponsor the show who I didn't vouch for, so trust me, it's legit. Literally, just go send him a DM on Instagram, it's @Loads. All you got to do is say to him, I come from the Blue Tick Show, help me make some money. And I know most of these people out there scams, and there's plenty of people out there offering you millions and millions of pounds and stuff like that. Louis is one of the 1% who actually do it properly, legitly. You don't need nothing. All you literally need is a phone and Wi-Fi. Send him a message and leave the rest to him. Guys, and if you want to know why I'm sitting here pushing it so much, it's because realistically, doing a 9 to 5 ain't going to get you nowhere. And I know most people sit here and say this because they're getting some sort of commission for it and stuff like that, but I really ain't. I'm telling you as a good person, the host of the show, doing a 9 to 5 ain't going to get you nowhere. So go message Louis, say you come from the Blue Tick Show, just ask Louis for the business model, let him do the explaining, and let him explain to you how he can help you. I'll see you soon. What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the Blue Tick Show. Opposite me today, I've got Simon Newton, the former bodyguard for the rich and famous, the likes of Kendall Jenner, Michael Jackson, Rita Ora, and the list goes on. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, mate. Thanks for having me.
Listen, it's a pleasure having someone opposite me who's dealt with guests like that, well, with celebrities like that. Big names. You ever get starstruck around them?
Not really. I think the first one I ever did out of all that lot was Michael Jackson. So it was the biggest one, was the most famous one, was the first one I ever did. So it kind of everything it was less.
Yeah, no, true.
After that,
dealing with Michael Jackson though, that's a big deal.
Yeah, I was only 26 years old at the time as well, so I was quite young, really. I didn't know when I took the job on. I didn't know it was going to be him.
They don't tell you?
No, they didn't tell us, no. They just said it was going to be a businessman coming into London. Would you do the job? I actually said no to start with, couldn't do it.
No way.
And then they called me back and they said, they put the money up and they said, you sure you can't do it? I said, I'll go and I'll come and, reluctantly, I'll come and do it then. It turned out it was Michael Jackson, yeah. Look,
Simon, before we dive into what everyone's here, obviously, people have probably seen in the title Michael Jackson, Kendall Jenner. Talk to me about you, your upbringing, your childhood. Who are you?
So I'm originally from Eastbourne, which is, for lots of people don't really know where Eastbourne is, but it's just along the coast from Brighton, not far, half an hour from Brighton. I went to school, normal school. I haven't got any sort of. I'm not from a affluent family, I'm not from a wealthy family or anything like that. We wasn't poor either, but from working class family. My father was a firefighter. For many years. My mum had various jobs while she was bringing me and my sister up.
Only two of you?
Yeah, just me and my sister, yeah. All my family still live down there. Obviously, I've been living in London a long time now, but so that's where it all started for me. I joined the Army Cadets when I was a kid.
Always wanted to be in the Army?
Yeah, and that was what it was. That's what I always wanted to be in the Army. I think obviously being a cadet when I was a kid as well probably gave me a little bit more of a thing for it. But yeah, I just had a very normal upbringing. It was a nice place to be brought up in Eastbourne. It's quiet. I mean, for now, there's no work down there now for me and that. But when you're a youngster, it's not a bad place to be brought up. It wasn't then anyway.
What was the cadets like?
I used to love that. All my mates I used to go around with outside of school were Army Cadet mates. I had friends at school, but outside of school hours, most of them are all Army Cadet mates.
Is it tough?
Yeah, sometimes it could be. When I used to look back at it, when you're a 13-year-old lad or whatever, and you're freezing cold and wet through, sometimes you used to think, oh, blimey, why am I bothering? But it's so much other good stuff outweighed that, and obviously later on, if you want to be a soldier, you need to get used to being wet and cold pretty quickly, really.
Definitely, otherwise you got no hope, basically.
No, if you go out being wet and cold, they ain't bother joining the army.
How long was the cadets?
Oh, I did quite a long time in it. I started 12 or 13 years old. And
young, usually it's a little bit older you start, no? Usually people start about 14, 15.
No, I think they start...
Oh, they do start young,
yeah? I think they do, yeah. I think they can start at 12 now.
How long did you do? When did you finish?
I finished when I was... I did it actually right up, almost up until I joined the military myself. So I don't know, 19 or something like that. Maybe I joined the army quite late.
What was the army like? Was it completely different to the cadets?
Yeah, I mean it's the real thing, isn't it? I joined reserves first, and then I went across to regular army. I got posted out to Canada.
What was it like?
That was good. We did a lot of time on exercise, live firing and blank ammunition. It's like a month-long exercises we were running out there. I think the place is shut down now because they've sold it off or whatever. But
run out of the army.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, so I did just over a year out there. I had a good time out there. I learnt a lot. Plenty of money. I wasn't spending much because of.
What was the hardest thing about the army?
Hardest thing. I mean, I didn't find anything particularly. There's nothing I didn't like. Let's put it like that. Obviously, there's hard courses you could go on, and all that sort of thing. So it was a hard aspect to the army. But for me, was it hard being in the army? No, it wasn't for me.
That's because that was your fantasy. You wanted to do it. You loved it.
Yeah,
you weren't kind of pushed into it or forced to do it.
I never felt like I was working.
Yeah, that's the best part about it.
And the thing is, with being in the military, Army, Navy, Air Force, it is a lifestyle as well because you are there 24/7, really. So it is a lifestyle. It can't just be it's not a 9-to-5 job, is it? Do you know what I mean?
Home when you want.
Yeah. So you've got to be kind of that way inclined with it anyway, I think. And all the guys are, men and women, they all love being a military person whilst they're in.
Well, what was the best thing in the army then?
Best thing? Just the crack and the laugh of it, I think.
Was it like a brotherhood there?
Yeah, massively, yeah.
One big family.
Yeah, everyone always got on. Everyone looks after each other. And even if you had people in the regiment that you weren't particularly keen on, it's one good thing about the army. It attracted everybody from all over the UK. Scotland, Wales, all up and down of England. So, but because it's a lot of people in one place, you've got to get on. Now, at times, people still don't get on. They're not going to, in any walk of life. You're not going to meet 100 people and like every single one of them. It's just facts. Just being a human, right? But in the military, the nice thing about it was you'd get the ones you don't get on with, fine, it didn't matter. You just either put up with it or didn't go near them or, whatever. But if you was ever downtown or anything like that and one of them was getting in some trouble,
you'd always defend each other.
Yeah, everyone was all, yeah, you always got looked after. You was always in, and then it'd be thrown back to camp and then he's not liked again. Do you know what I mean?
It's comes down to... It's like one big team. You are at the end of the day one big team. You're all there to defend each other, even if you hate each other. It comes down to family at the end of the day. Sometimes you might hate your brother. You hate them. You hate them so much. But if you see them out in trouble, you're the first one to jump in and make sure they're okay.
Yeah.
But the army, obviously, there's difference there. You're pretty much together 24/7. You're with them more than you're with your family.
You do rely on each other, whether you like each other or not. It doesn't matter. You do rely on each other.
You want someone behind you.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, and everyone. I never met anyone in the military who I felt wouldn't do the right thing if needed, if you know what I mean.
How did you transfer over to close protection?
So before I left the military, I did Iraq War 2003.
What was that like?
For me, it was really good. Yeah, I learned.
You enjoyed
a lot.
it?
Enjoyed it. Yeah, I did. Yeah,
Not
certain
madman.
Not certain elements of it, obviously.
You sit across me, so calm and relaxed, but you're actually.
Yeah, no, it was good. For me, yeah. If you want to be a soldier, what do you want to do?
The adrenaline was there.
You want to go to war. If you're going to be a footballer and you don't ever get a game, how good?
That's true.
Was
you ever scared?
Oh yeah, loads. Yeah. Yeah.
Did that pump you? Is that what?
Yeah, he doesn't. Yeah, it's being scared is only an emotion. It's the same as laughing, same as crying. It's just that being scared is an emotion that we don't tend to like.
So how do you train your mind then? Obviously, because what you're saying, I've heard a lot. It's just an emotion. That's it. How do you learn to control it?
I don't know. I mean, for me, I think a lot of it was you don't want to let anyone down. When something's happening, you don't want to let anyone down. I learned very quickly that when you get to a stage when you're scared, obviously you don't scare particularly easily because given the nature of the job, you're in the wrong job if you get scared easily. So when you get scared, it's normally quite bad. Something's going wrong. And for me, I learned very quickly that once things are going wrong, it's nothing I can do about it than do something. You know, I can't just go at home and be in bed now. I can't wish I never took the job on. I can't wish I never joined the army because I did.
Yeah,
so
that's what you chose to do.
Yeah, and I'm here now, and this is happening. So, right, what can we do to see if we can make this into a better situation? And that's it. And if it doesn't work out, and you know, and it's gone wrong, then that's it.
Tell us one of the scenarios where you was scared.
One
that brings back to mind.
Wasn't so much in the military. I remember one time. So I was on a team in the army. I was in the Royal Signals, but I was on a team attached to another unit where we was going out and we was looking after a couple of American diplomats, and they were going around southern Iraq looking for weapons of mass destruction. I say looking for, we was acting on informants what were telling us go to this place, there's some chemical waste there and all this sort of thing. Yeah, we're going out to all these places. There weren't a lot, but we found very little, in fact. But there was one time where the governor of Basra had just been taken hostage by a local militia, and we was the closest people to that building to be able to help. And we had a box in the back of the car because we didn't wear uniform for that job. We were civilian clothing, yeah. So we had a box of all our kit and equipment in the back of the car, and we didn't really show it, sort of thing. And the box come out, and one of the lads on the team, I was like the youngest on there. I was only 23 years old, I think. They were all corporals and sergeants. I was just a soldier, and he said, "Oh, we've got to get the box out the back." And I thought, "What's that happened then?" Because that don't come out normally. Do you know what I mean? So I got it out and started getting out. So what are we doing with it? And no one really said at the time because it was all sort of being finalised whether we was going to go down and help or not. And then they said, "Oh, we've got it," and told me, and I remember thinking, I just went, "Oh, okay, that's fine, no problem. Yeah, I'll get all the kit out." And I turned around and I thought, "Fuck."
What happened? Did you go in?
Yeah, I mean, the first, I remember I had to have a little word with myself very quickly, and it didn't last long. It was like 10 seconds, and I thought, right, you can't not do this now, because I didn't want to. You know, your first instinct is I don't really want to get involved in this. But I thought,
this is your lot's drama. You deal with it.
Exactly. Yeah, I was like, but I thought you're an idiot. You know, you've all your life, and I thought, I don't know why, but I thought right back to when I was a child, and I used to run around the garden with a plastic gun or whatever. I thought all the time I was in the cadets, when I'd be on a exercise, and actually sometimes I used to wonder what it'd really be like if we was.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And all the time I dreamt about being in the army, being on operations somewhere, and doing it for real. And I thought the day you get your first sort of proper job, if you like, you're gonna go, "Oh, I don't want to do it." So it's just thought, get on with it, and what will be will be. And I used that attitude with those situations. Many years after, when I was a bodyguard in the Middle East, I used that quite a lot, and just you just start to realise what you're capable of, and there was a bit of luck in there as well. You know, there's an element of.
Do you believe in luck in that game?
There is a small amount, not as much as what people think. They say they're lucky, but not. Quite often, you can make good and bad choices as well. Yeah, you can make good and bad choices as well, but. Yeah, I wouldn't say, you know, I think to say anyone who's alive and anyone who's dead is lucky or unlucky, not necessarily, you know. Especially
in your game, you can't rely on luck. Well, obviously when you're protecting these celebs and stuff, you can't rely on luck.
No, when you never, as a bodyguard, no chance, no. I mean, look, if you get a bit of luck thrown in there, then great.
Sweet.
But if you don't, then you need to make sure whatever you're doing is still, you know, sorting the problem out, really.
So, Iraq War.
Yeah.
What was it like? Really, what was it like?
Well, I only did the end, so I did the end at the start of the rebuilding phase. It was
Okay.
like what was meant to be the Iraqi reconstruction phase. So that was good, but I started getting a lot of trouble halfway
You
through.
started getting.
Yeah, the army did, because we thought we was just going to go in there. I think we did the war. The war wasn't that much of a war really, and then we thought we was just going to get on with rebuilding the country and giving what the people wanted back to the country. And obviously, there was a lot of retaliation there and didn't want us in the country. And actually, some of the operations after some of the years after that with the army, it got a lot more casualties and people killed than they did in the war phase.
Yeah, did. And it got out of hand most of the time.
Yeah. A lot of the time it did. So to start with, it was peaceful and quiet, but not for long really. I reckon about a month, and then it started to just escalate and escalate and escalate.
How long was you there for?
I had a 6-month tour we did with British Army.
That's a long time having your life on the line for 6 months, really.
Well, I did when I finished that. I left the military because I was offered a job by a private security company, which was working in Iraq. So when I left the army, I'd only been out about a month, and I'd gone back to Iraq. I was living in Iraq for another 3 years after that.
So that was the private security?
For a private security company, yeah.
And how old was you at this point?
I just turned. I was 24, not far. I think I was about 24 when I first started private security.
Why do you reckon they picked you?
I don't know, to be honest.
Come on, you got to be a little bit cocky with it. Listen, you've done well. You've done very well for yourself.
I wanted to work for the company. At the time they offered me a job, I was still in the military. They said I didn't realise, and when they found out, they said, look, we can't offer you a job because you're still in the military. So that's fine, but I'm going to have to wait a bit longer till I'm sort of totally clear of it. And then when I went for the interview, there was a guy there who was interviewing, as an ex-army officer, who happened to know my boss when I worked in Iraq. They'd served together in the army, and he said, "Oh, I know this guy." He says, blah blah blah. He said, "Do you mind if I call him and ask him about what you've been up to and everything else?"
Yeah.
Long story short, within 2 days, I think I got an email saying, "You got a job. When can you fly out?" So he obviously done me a good CV.
And you wanted to go back out there again? Did you know how long you was going for?
No. Well, the rotation was 9 weeks on, 3 weeks off at the time. But how many years I was going to do, I don't know.
What's the pay like?
Great, that's why I went.
It is better because obviously the army it's not the best.
I think 5 times the salary I was on.
For real?
Yeah.
Okay. So you was like, wherever you want me, I'm going.
Yeah.
Literally at that age as well. You're young.
Yeah. So that's one of the main attractions.
What's the difference between being in the army and being in private security? You said, right?
I mean, there's a lot of differences. I mean, in the military, essentially you're an attacking force. Private security, you're only there to defend yourself and the people you might be looking after. Or
who was you looking after?
I worked for an American company, for American oil workers down in the southern Iraq. But after that, I went on to we did a job for the Japanese government up north of the country, which was looking after kit and equipment, just bringing in supplies, and we bought some electrical generators in and. To start giving power back to the country, and that job was rough. We used to get hit a lot on that job. Yeah.
Talk us through a little bit of it.
Well, because it's kit and equipment and articulated lorries, you could only come in on the main supply routes because of the size of the vehicles you're bringing in. Quite often in those countries, if it's a rough period of time, sometimes they put a no move to Westerners because it's too dangerous to move. But because we had to, if the kit and equipment come across the border and we wasn't there, then it gets nicked. So we always had to go out regardless of whatever was going on in town or in the surrounding areas. And also the speeds we had to run all the time. There's always roadside bombs. Lots of guys got killed on that job.
Was that bad?
Yeah. If we went across all the convoy teams that were working for the company at the time in Iraq, 2006 was probably one of the worst years.
And you never got fear from that, seeing some people you knew, obviously.
Yeah, but you got to remember by then as well, I'd done all the military service out there. I'd already done two further. It's my 3rd year out there by then when I was doing that job.
So you're pretty much.
So you kind of get used to it a little bit. Yeah, close to being used to it.
Did you enjoy it?
I learnt a lot. On that. I mean, not all of it on that one because obviously, but majority of it, I enjoyed it more than enough to stay there.
What was it like back home with your family while you was out doing all this? Were they ever worried for you?
Probably. I never used to talk about that much. I remember when I first went to Baghdad, told my mum I was working in Kuwait, and we got rocketed. I was on the 18th floor in the Palestine Hotel in Baghdad, and we used to eat up there, and we got rocketed, and they slammed into the side of the lift shaft of the 12th floor, and caught on fire. But the Sheraton and Palestine hotels in Baghdad at the time were full of all the Western news crews from all over Europe and all over the world, and so obviously anything that got hit there got reported on instantly, and I think it's CNN put it up, and I got caught walking out the lobby of the hotel while it was on fire in my shorts and t-shirt with my AK-47, and my mum had seen it.
And she knew it was you straight away.
It, yeah.
Oh my god!
So I got rumbled.
But listen, you enjoyed it, and it's stuff that you obviously wanted to do, so you had no option. Even if you were scared, it was shut up, Simon. You got to be here. You chose to be here. Let's get to work.
Yeah.
Why did you switch over to close protection for the rich and famous?
So when I finished in the war, I went to Afghanistan for 2 years after that.
Oh, you've really done a lot then. You've really done a lot. There's me trying to dive into one part of it, but you got plenty more.
For Foreign Commonwealth Office, I was bodyguard for the British government for the HMRC. British HMRC officers, which were working out there.
They definitely need security, don't they?
Yeah, well, this is the thing. HMRC, what people don't realise is HMRC, we all think tax on their money and everything else, which it is that, obviously, but it's also HMRC runs all the borders of the UK. So when you go through customs and all that, that's all HMRC as well. Not the security guys, but the ones who want to look in your bag and stuff.
See how much money you're bringing in. See what's
all
going
that stuff. Yeah, so we was mentoring the Afghan drugs police out in Afghanistan, and that's why they come out, and we were looking after them. So that was kind of more close protection because of.
Did you enjoy that more than being out on the field?
Well, we was out. We used to have an aircraft. We used to drive on the back of the aircraft and fly up and down the country, going to all the airports, all the city gate checkpoints where vehicles come in. So it was an active job, dangerous job, but two very different jobs. I enjoyed all of that, all that time.
Look, we've spoke about things you hate off job anyway.
Yeah,
but
yeah, so then after that was when I just thought, I don't really want to be working away anymore. I think I was 28 years old, all the early part of my life, adult sort of life. I hadn't really experienced what normal people experience.
Missed it all.
Yeah, so I thought it's time to go home. Didn't know what I wanted to do. Had a little bit of money in the bank. I bought a house when I was 26, so I had that secured, yeah. So I had money, but in terms of spending money to come home and try and find another job, I didn't have an education.
And it's different for someone with your line of skill to find a job. You can't go and do a normal working in a 9 to 5.
Yeah, I exactly, and I didn't know what I wanted to do neither. I'd always done that line of work, and that's what I always enjoyed. And I always thought I was good at doing that. I wasn't good at other things. So,
what was you not good at?
Yeah, most things. Just normal. I'd have been a crap plumber. I'd have been a crap carpenter. I worked in an engineering factory very briefly when I was younger, and I was useless at it, because it just wasn't my thing. I've kind of found something with the security and the army thing, but I think because I enjoyed it so much, when you enjoy something, you're normally quite good at it, aren't you?
100%. So, you make it your passion to do, to be well at it as well. It's different.
Right. So,
what did you do when you come home?
So there's a few options I had. I wanted to be. I was looking at being a PT in the prison service. That was all changing, and I spoke to a number of people in it, and I just thought, I don't think that's really going to be for me. Sussex Police sort of collared me and offered me a few meetings and bits and pieces for this, potentially join the anti-terrorist in Gatwick. Which actually weren't a bad little thing. Never really saw myself as a police officer, I've got to be honest, but I thought due to the nature of the job, anti-terrorist rather than normal, yeah, I thought it could be interesting. It's firearms as well, which obviously I was well adversed with that by that stage, which was what he was keen on having me across for. Then the money was awful.
Was that bad?
Yeah, it sort of put me off it. And I got a call from someone who said, can you come and do a summer with the Dubai Royal family? And that's what I did. And I did that for 2 years, that job.
What was the pay like? We all know Dubai pay good.
Yeah, it's a lot better. It was only in London as well, so I didn't have to go to Dubai, but it was that's how I've ended up living in London today. But yeah, it was.
You tried to swerve that one. How much you get paid?
Yeah,
I swear
do you know what? I honestly can't remember. It wasn't as good as being when I was working away though.
But it was a bit safer.
In the private security industry as well, the money was really good to start with. But it started coming down.
Really?
Yeah, it started coming down. So that's when I come home. But when I come home, the money in London probably was just a little bit less than what it was when I was away. But you're a lot safer, and you're at home.
And when you obviously was dealing with the Dubai guys, what were they like?
Yeah, fine. I didn't have much dealing with them. The guy we used to have to be there for didn't really come in much. So I used to do 10 days on, 10 nights on. Sorry, that's a lie. 5 on, 5 off.
And what would your day consist of?
Nothing.
Oh, seriously?
Just waiting. Had a phone, just waiting to see. If they come in, we'd have to shoot down to the residents and meet them and do whatever they were doing. But I don't really. I think one summer, I'm not sure if I did more than one day.
For real?
Yeah. Well, you can't go in it. You can't go anywhere and do anything. You can't be drinking. You can't be doing this and all that when you're on shift. But you just sat there waiting to go. Really.
That's the most boring thing, especially with someone with you with the adrenaline. You love that.
I know. Yeah.
The buzz. I want to be out there. I want to be involved.
I thought I had the right result to start with, and then you soon realise that
this isn't what I
want to get out. At least, even if they come in for a week, a month or something, when they won't come. But I did that for 2 years, and then after that, I started my own company, private security company, and I left all that. And that's when, apart from Michael Jackson, which was quite a lot before, I did the Michael Jackson job when I was on leave from Afghanistan. I did Jackson and went back to Afghanistan.
What was that like? Can't miss that part out.
Busy.
You met him?
Yeah. And
what was he like as a person?
He was all right. Quite a quiet, subdued man, I would say.
How many of you worked for him?
5. There was 5 on the job. Yeah.
All friends of yours?
No, it was all mixed. Didn't know anyone.
Any incidents?
It's always incidents with him. Not nothing particularly bad, but his crowd. It's always crowds with him all the time. We had 6 or 7 black cabs, which were permanently on a meter for fans that are paying to be on a meter all day, just so if when we drive off they can jump in. They got a car basically to follow us all the time.
No way.
People were booking suites in the hotel because we shut the hotel down. But if you're a hotel guest, obviously you was allowed in and out, and that was it. So people were buying rooms in the hotel. We was in the Hempel in Bayswater. I think it might be closed now. I'm not sure. God knows how much money a night these rooms were. And people, young kids were paying to stay in them for a week just so they could be in the lobby when he come down. And it's a very busy job. He
is probably the most famous man in the world, though.
Oh, he's got to be. Yeah, I don't know if anyone to be.
Now he's dead.
I don't know if anyone to be ever have that fame again.
That name,
to be honest,
Michael Jackson, is the biggest name in the world.
Yeah,
no one's touching him. I don't think. Me personally, I don't think so. Anyway, and you had the honour of being his security guard. What was there certain weird things he wanted? He always wanted this in his room. Was there anything that you as a security team had to always make sure?
Not massively, because we didn't move him around that much. Because you only really went if we went to Guinness Book of Records because he got an award for something. I can't remember what it's for now. We went to World Music Awards where we got an award there as well. We went out for a couple of meals, but it's all very controlled. You can't just sort of go, oh, actually, I'm going to pop down Selfridges and do a bit of a shop or whatever. Do you know what I mean? So
was you going away with him as well?
No. I only did that. Visit because I was going back to Afghanistan after that had finished. I think I had another 4 or 5 days off or something like that, maybe, and then.
Weirdest thing with Michael Jackson? Weirdest or most or best?
Not really. I know we took quite a little bit. It's marginally funny. We took his children, to see Mary Poppins, and I thought we'd just be taking the children because it's just easier to enjoy the show, sort of thing.
Yeah.
He come with us, and they took him in when the lights were down and the show had started. And I remember I had to sit on one of the chairs at the end of the row he was in. We had security and the other security with him in the middle.
That's mad,
but no one saw us come in. And I remember just sitting there thinking, this is all very well, isn't it? But if we got to go out before the interval, otherwise this was, So the lights come on. We were still sitting there. Even the actors on the stage,
jaws dropped,
were stopped what they were doing, going, "That's Michael Jackson." So. that was interesting.
And you lot obviously stood out as well. There's probably 5 lumps there.
Yeah, well, we ended up taking him out obviously after that, and we couldn't go back in for the second half. We just had to leave it and go.
And then you started your business.
And I started my business. Yeah, started with one 5-star hotel on Park Lane in I think it's 2010, something like that, roughly. And just growing it ever since then, really.
And how does it work with your? What does your company do?
So we do everything. So bodyguards, obviously, surveillance, close protection, asset protection. We do a lot of 5-star hotels. We don't do pubs and clubs or anything like that, but we do a lot of 5-star hotels, theatres, West End. What else? We've got private events, so celebrity weddings and stuff like that. We've got some quite high net worth event companies that we work for. So we kind of cover everything, really.
Who's the most famous celebrity you've worked for apart from Michael Jackson?
So I would Kendall Jenner.
Oh, really? Have you got a number? If you don't mind.
Yeah.
Do you want to just swing it?
Make a fortune on that, yeah. And Bella and Gigi Hadid, the sisters.
Okay.
They're all kind of the same sort of level of fame, really.
What's it like dealing with, because they're famous. Of course, Michael Jackson is, but they're stars, especially with
I mean, they're super A-list, yeah.
They are. They're not the only little, like, the only way is Essex kind of people.
Yeah.
What is it like working for them?
I had a good time with them. Because they're obviously models, so we did a lot of fashion shows and things like that. I had a good time with them, yeah. They treated me really well, they did. So
what's I pay for, like, a day with them, roughly?
I can't remember now, but it's 250, 300 quid or something like that.
That's not bad.
Yeah. Something like
how many
that,
of you?
like that. Just me. So the only job I've ever had been with anyone else was Michael Jackson. Everyone else I've looked after, apart from working in the Middle East now, obviously, but I've been on my own, yeah.
What's it like knowing the pressure's all on you?
You're trying to think about it.
Do you ever get worried?
You can get a bit anxious sometimes.
Had any incidents that you've had to deal with?
Again, you just work things with those people as well. Always got paps following you around and that. So if you do anything wrong, put a foot out of place, and they can't wait to get a little bit of a story sort of thing. So you've got to be careful. And obviously, if anything happens to them, what's the first thing everyone says who's reading the paper? When was their security? So it is a big. But I never used to think about it like that. I used to just plan my day and just try and do everything as best we could. And to be fair to both the girls, I never said we couldn't do anything. And on the odd occasion, I might have mentioned, I don't know, I probably shouldn't really do that, because say Winter Wonderland, for instance, going. I mean, the place is a nightmare. Exactly. It's not we can't do it at all, but we can't do it in an hour because I need time to sort it out. You've got to take a full team security as well. And they always agreed that they were always very good. But everyone I looked after, I never really put much restrictions on people. Some people do sometimes, they sort of say, we shouldn't be doing this, we shouldn't be doing, and quite often they're right, but you've got to be a little bit flexible. Just depends where we're going and what we're doing. It really changes every time.
What precautions do you put in place to make sure your client is safe?
Yeah.
Let's say.
So, I'd roughly want to know which ones to look at in there.
And she wants to go to Harrods and do a shop.
Yeah. Not really.
Or I don't know. Is this how they live? They got so much money and stuff. How do they live? Do they
I mean, a lot of the time you don't just go out because it's.
All right, I want to go. I'm Ken Jenner. I want to go buy a new handbag.
You ask them. Do you ask them? So what do you want to do today? And what they will say is they say, "Oh, Simon, I'd like to go to Harrods this afternoon."
How can
is that all right?
Okay, what do you want to do today?
And it will be. And quite often, you can ring up Harrods. You can speak to the head of security at Harrods. Obviously, the security team at somewhere like Harrods is quite strong. You can explain that you're going to be coming in the store because of what the store doesn't like as well is build up a crowds in certain elements of the store. So it's important that they know. They'll also help you when you're in there as well. So if you get in any sort of trouble or it becomes a bit overbearing, you've got extra security there. Maybe the security supervisor might come down for the whole time that you're there. All these extra bits. They also give you access to. Different entrances and exits, personal shopping entrance areas that maybe you can't get unless you're a member to something. All these different sort of green room type areas you can go into to keep out of the way. So you set all that up, and then you go, let's go and hope for the best.
What's been the craziest experience with one of the A-list celebs that you've experienced?
Craziest one was Michael Jackson. Really, just 'cause
Apart from
I
him,
met
obviously.
people- apart
He's
from him,
just a bit crazy.
yeah. The ones with Bella and Kendall didn't really have anything crazy, but it was always just a bit more stressful because I was on my own.
Yeah.
Because you still had all the crowds, and how many people can I fend off? Do you know what I mean? It's
How did you get them as clients? Because they're big names.
Jackson come from a friend of a friend who called me and said we do this job. But it all come. You get booked. It's like loads of ways you can get booked. You can get booked through other security companies. You can get booked through the model agency. You can get booked through a production company if it's an actor you're looking after. You could get booked through a record label if it's a musical artist. So, or you might get booked by their manager, PA, or them personally. It just depends.
Most of them have their own security with them at all times, no?
Yeah. So, you'll be surprised how many don't.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, like the models, quite often they have the same security person,
Because if I
but in
was
each country.
super famous, I'd want the same guy. So I build trust with him. I know he's...
Yeah, costs money.
Yeah.
So a lot of them don't have security all the time. You see.
True.
So someone like Beyonce, yeah, you're going to have it around the clock. You
Money's
have the
not a
same
problem,
team.
yeah.
They do everything with you. But even then, in the UK, because we're licensed, Americans aren't licensed, so officially they're not allowed to work in this country.
Really?
Yeah, you got to be licensed to work here. So unless they hold the license, and they obviously, but
Yeah, but
they
license
don't.
to do what?
Security license, SIA license.
Yeah, but if I've got my friends protecting me, what can you do that they can't do?
Well,
What does your license allow you to do?
Yeah, so it allows me to fend off people. I can get more physical. Whereas if you get physical as a civilian, you've only got to touch someone. It can be assault.
So what are you allowed to do?
Very little, very little, but more than you. Do you
You're
know what I
allowed
mean?
to just remove them from the system.
Yeah, to be able to remove people. Yeah, it just shows that you are a trained professional security
You're not just a
person,
nutter who's
and you're
trying
not
to-
just someone who's good at
trying to have
banging
a scrap.
people out or whatever. Yeah.
It must be annoying as well, though.
Must be
Knowing
also.
that whatever you do, you can get in trouble for. Because at the end of the day, you know you're a professional. You know you're not going to go in there and start banging random strangers out. Your job is to look after your client, and your client's your priority. If you get 3 geezers come to you, you have to use more force. You can't just sit there and be like, "Oh, move out of the way. Sorry, can't."
Yeah, I mean, at times like that, if there's a knife or a gun involved, obviously you can escalate what you're about to do, because if when it's a threat to life, then
It's different.
if you chin someone and you knock him out, but he had a gun and he's going to shoot you, that would be quite,
It's reasonable.
that'd probably be accepted. Well done. Do you know what I mean? Although you're still not going to do that really, but if that was to happen, you could see why someone maybe have done that. If someone's just tapped you on the shoulder a bit overzealous and you banged him out,
It's a little bit different.
just, I mean, so there's a fine line with all of it, as to why and what you can do.
Do you still deal with these clients when they come over?
No, I don't have anything to do with anything like that anymore
So
now.
what if they phone you and personally request, "We want you to come"?
Someone asked me that the other day. Obviously, I'm sorry, I'm busy.
What's your price?
I mean,
Because realistically, listen, let's cut the bullshit. Everyone has a price.
yeah, if there's a price, yeah,
If they
but
phoned you up and said, "We want you here," what would be your price?
my price would be a lot of money. To the extent it'd be stupid to just
much?
just have someone else.
How
do you know
much?
what
Tell us.
I mean? What, for a day?
A day with a superstar, A-list celeb. I want you with me for the day.
For the day, I'd want realistically $2,500-3 grand.
Yeah, there's people who can afford it.
Yeah, there is, but I'm no better than a lot of other people. Do you know what I mean? Just give someone
fair
this,
But you know what? Sometimes it's a lot different when people have a relationship with someone and they trust you as a person.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how much the price is.
The only time I would ever do something is if someone was going somewhere and they could only go. I mean, it's a hypothetical, thing really, but they could only go with me. And if I didn't go, it means they couldn't go. Would I go? Probably, because I wouldn't want to see someone can't do something just because of me. But I mean, realistically, that's never going to happen. Do you know what I mean?
They can always go with someone
Of
else.
course, there's always someone who can go, isn't there? Yeah.
Is there anything that you've been put in uncomfortable situations regarding close protection? Not the war, obviously. That's different.
Not really. Just like fans, always the biggest
The
one.
thing is, everything compared to the military is easy.
Well, that's the thing. I had a good benchmark. I started in the worst job, in the worst place, firearms, bombs, death, to working in London.
Having a 15-year-old kid come up to you and
Yeah, too many fans in the way, you know. So yeah, everything. I used to judge it, and I still do today. I used to judge everything by when I worked out a way. Is this going to kill me? Sometimes the answer might be it could do, or yes, you know.
could do.
So now I think that is this going to kill me? You know, when I talk about the accent, I use that a lot now. Is this going to kill me? If you're not sure you want to do something, a bit embarrassed or it's a bit, ooh, you know, nothing. If it's not going to kill me, I'll have a go at it. And it, you know, I'm not bothered of it. It doesn't mean I'm not scared of it neither. Sometimes I still get a bit scared of still doing things, but I still do it. I could punch for that scared thing. When it's taking, you know, your life being taken is the ultimate thing.
Yeah,
really. And if that's not it, then anything else I can do. Or severely hurt, loss of eyesight, losing limbs. No, you don't want that neither. But do you know what I mean? Generally,
definitely. Not, what do you mean? Is that how you army soldiers look at stuff? Lost a limb.
But you know, but generally, if you're talking about being embarrassed, maybe getting bashed up slightly, you know, pushed around a bit, maybe getting cold, wet, uncomfortable.
That's what you signed up for, isn't it?
The whole thing is just, you know, long days, not a lot of sleep, all that stuff. You can get over that. It's not going to kill you.
This video is sponsored by Cranbrook Law, an award-winning immigration law firm. Their talented solicitors can help when any struggles arise regarding immigration law. They can help get you the visas they need. They can help get you the staff you need from any other countries. As you can see, the website is on the screen right now. So if you need anything to do with immigration law, message Cranbrook Law and let them help you. Whether you're looking to obtain a sponsor license, receive advice and guidance in relation to compliance and our civil penalties, or take advantage of our know-how and experience across a broad range of business visas, our talented and dynamic immigration lawyers are available to speak to you. Telephone numbers on the screen, emails on the screen, and hit the link in the bio if you need any help. No, definitely not. Definitely not. Was you happy when you started your own business?
Yeah, never really realised sort of how long I was going to have it for and what I was going to do with it. I never realised that the people I was going to be looking after neither, to be honest.
What's your company called?
Ascari Secure.
Ascari?
Yeah.
Where's the name from?
So Ascari is Swahili for a sort of kind of like bodyguard soldier.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean that's even today. It's just it does itself, you know. All our work's word of mouth, really.
Do you have big clients still today?
Yeah, we've got not just in terms of celebrities, but we've got
rich.
Yeah, we've got high net worth individuals. We also contracts with people like Hilton and Intercontinental, Four Seasons, people like that as well. Yeah.
Why don't you go back out and do it yourself?
Growing out of it.
You don't enjoy it?
Nah, don't enjoy it.
So what's your day consist of now?
I still go in the office, so I'm still responsible for security, the security company. Clothing brand I also own as well, Simon Newton London.
Thanks for the gift.
Oh, that's all right, yeah. And gym, office. So I've got another office for the clothing.
Yeah.
So sometimes that office.
What do you enjoy more now, the security or the clothing?
I like business.
And what made you want to start a clothing line?
So years ago when I was working for Bella, I used to get commented all the time in Vogue. I think they put Vogue put an article up saying Bella Hadid's bodyguard is a real star of London Fashion Week. And I had lots of other people covering me over the coming months after that when I was with Bella for what I was wearing and stuff. And one of the things I used to wear was a bomber jacket. And I just thought, I'll just make my own one day. If I'm pushing someone else's brand out there, I was going to make my own. And it wasn't till sort of, I was going to do it before COVID actually, but COVID obviously shut everything down. So I picked it up straight after COVID, and we've just started doing these.
But if you send us a link as well, we'll throw it in the bottom.
Yeah,
if anyone's interested in getting one, they're more than happy to.
Yeah, there's a whole range of stuff going to be coming out, but it's not just going to be jackets. But yeah, it's new, but it's good. It's doing well.
So you enjoy that? That's your passion?
Business is. So my position with the security company is a business position now. So I enjoy that now because I'm only dealing with new work, tendering contracts, whatever. So I enjoy that. Yeah. So both of them I enjoy actually because I sort of like business development side of both of them. That's all I deal with. Although I did design this myself, to be fair. But the colours and materials and everything, it's all my thing. But
question for you.
Yeah.
Are you married?
No.
Kids?
Yeah, no.
No kids?
Just a girlfriend, yeah. That's it.
The reason I was asking was because the line of work you're in, especially when working in Iraq, dealing with these big, dangerous people, sometimes they want to take you out and do things that upset you, but luckily, for once it's lucky, you haven't got kids, and especially then, back then you didn't have kids in that time.
Yeah, I did, and some of the lads did. Some of the guys were married with children and that, are older than me and everything else, but I don't know, looking back now, I don't know if I'd have been able to do that if I had
Missing home, missing the family.
Not the way I used to do it, you know what I mean? I don't know if I...
Bit reckless?
A little bit, yeah. When I look back, at the time I didn't think that, but when I look back at it, yeah, there's a few things there you think probably a little bit silly, but...
By the end of the day, it's what you enjoy. That's what you enjoy.
Yeah, it is, and that's the thing. I mean, it's my life's changed dramatically now from that. Obviously, acting, that's one of my biggest things at the moment outside of the two businesses.
What movies you been involved in?
I worked. So the first movie I did was in 2010 when I was still a bodyguard, and I got asked to go out to Morocco and do a film with Matt Damon called Green Zone.
I watched it.
Yeah, Green Zone thriller. It was about weapons of mass destruction in Iraq, actually. So I worked on that. I played a US Special Forces soldier, and I really enjoyed it. So I knew that I was going to pursue, or I wanted to pursue film work, later on, because I couldn't do it then because I was still a working bodyguard. That's one of the reasons why I've left the industry now as well. I've done like 30 podcasts. I've been over 60 publications. I've been on UK TV, US TV, Australian TV. I couldn't really longer work as a bodyguard anymore because if you start becoming more and more known, it's all right when you're a celebrity, it don't matter because they're always going to be more famous than I'm going to ever be. Yeah. But if you're working with someone who's not in the public light,
and you're the one getting the crowd,
right? It's not a good move. So that's why another reason why I decided I wanted to leave that so I could pursue the acting career. A lot more, but after the Green Zone, I went on to Sherlock Holmes, Robbie Downey Jr. and Jude Law. I did a bit on that. At the time, I've got another bit out. At the time, I was working away on oil tankers as well, doing anti-piracy.
Yeah.
Taking them down, sort of like from Oman to Egypt.
I watched them videos.
Yeah,
they're good videos.
Yeah,
you see that goes on there. They're good.
Yeah,
I
did that on and off for about a year and a half. We used to do 10-day trips at a time.
But pirates coming mad.
Yeah, they come in the skiffs and just try and take the bridge out.
Did you have anything mad happen during that?
Not massively. The first two I did were unarmed, so it was just four of us on there.
So what were you meant to do?
Exactly, very little. But we did have one of the trips. We had 2 Japanese warships that escorted us. That pretty much the whole route. The flag state of the vessel we was on was a Japanese government vessel, so they escorted us. And then after that, I was armed on the ones I'd done.
What were you really meant to do unarmed? Like seriously?
Yeah, for years I was doing it unarmed until it started getting sort of worse and worse and worse, and then they finally got it sort of authorised. Some companies have had weapons, but very few. And then in the end, everyone had weapons.
Everyone's got it now.
Yeah.
I've seen videos, TikTok, literally.
Yeah, everyone had weapons in the end. So I did that. I wasn't particularly good at sea. I enjoyed the job. It was different because I wanted to tick the box of doing it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I couldn't have done years and years at sea. I don't think it wasn't my thing.
What's left? What boxes are left for you to tick?
So I finished acting school over COVID.
What was that like? Different for you? Completely different to what you're normally involved in?
Of course, yeah, massively different, yeah. And the thing was, I did a masterclass in screen acting, so I got a diploma in screen acting, but the course wasn't particularly a beginner's course as such. A lot of people were from theatre already, or other screen actors who just wanted to go along and sort of learn more. Yeah, because I was at acting school again only a few weeks ago. You never, as an actor, you're never really done. Do you know what I mean?
Isn't being an actor just easy? Like really, like as mad as it sounds, isn't it just like what's the hardest part of it? Like to me, it'd be scripts.
Yeah, exactly, and that probably is the hardest part. But it all depends on what you're doing and what you're playing. But there's so much to think about. I've just finished fight school for screen fighting.
Oh really?
Basically,
what's that like?
Yeah. It's good fun, but with that, it's like dancing almost. Really, you got to remember a routine.
You got to make sure you don't hit the guy.
you got to remember your dialogue as well. So I'd only, as an actor, I'm only ever used to learning my dialogue and acting my dialogue. Which, when I think of that now, it's quite easy. You try doing that and remembering a routine for fighting, so it does get difficult.
And the thing is, with fighting, like you said, I can only imagine it's probably a lot harder to do that than to actually have a fight.
Yeah,
because you're straining your body. It's literally like a dance routine. Like
it is, and you got to go. You got to go 110% when you're doing it, when you're throwing punches and doing things, because if you don't, it doesn't look real. Yeah. So you can get your wallop if the other guy moves the wrong way, and that is part and parcel. But generally, there's a big emphasis on not being hurt as well, because when you're on set, you can't. Exactly. You can't have that, and you need to be able to do quite often. You need to do a scene 5, 6, 7, 8 times. Yeah. So if you've done a cracking punch and it looked really good, but it hurt a bit, once it's fine. You can't do that 8 times.
It's true. When you think of it like that, it's true.
So it's a lot.
End up knocking the geezer clean out by the end of it.
Yeah, you've had enough of it. So
he's gonna walk off set. Fuck this geezer, man. He's a prick.
There's a lot to think about in acting. I enjoy it. I've got quite a bit coming up next year. Just missed out a little bit because the actors have been a big actors strike in the States. It had a bit of a knock-on effect in this country. They had a strike, just about pay and the use of AI. Because they started using a bit of AI for background, I think. And
AI is that's a whole conversation for another day.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's a podcast on its own.
Because that's taken over the world.
Yeah,
like even in what I do, like. Everything, even down to thumbnails, like the little pictures we use. You can even have AI edit your podcast for you now.
Oh, I know. Yeah. What? Yeah. Even in the fashion world and stuff, with the modelling and stuff, amount of AI models now for clothing, 'cause it's cheaper.
It's mad, but nothing's better than a real. But give it 5 years, it's going to be better than humans.
Yeah.
Like even now, I still have an editor who does my stuff for me, and we've spoken about using the pod AI thing, but. It don't get when I laugh, you laugh. It's that little transition that catches it and it looks good in camera, whereas AI don't pick that up.
Yeah, right.
Give it a year.
Yeah, it will. Yeah, it will. It will. AI is a bigger threat to this world than global warming.
Of course.
Massively.
Everyone will be out of a job.
Yeah.
We're not going to have nothing left to do.
Yeah, I don't think people really understand. Some know exactly what's going on with that.
I can ask good questions. I can hold a conversation well, but... When I got a robot doing better than me...
Yeah. But even you think in film work, acting, if you get an AI actor...
He can't make a mistake.
He can't make mistakes. He's not going to get hurt. It doesn't cost any money. He's not going to... He can jump off a building, do a double backflip, fly around the thing twice and come down without having to set anything up.
He's only need to do the script once as well. Right. Time. Instead of it taking 6 months to film a movie...
it will be delivered correctly in the first go. Yeah.
It'll take a month to have it delivered correctly.
It is. There's lots of... If you think about it... essentially... In the long run, and people might struggle to sort of get their head around it. Yeah, but someone could walk in here now, and you wouldn't know if there were a difference between an AI robot or a person. And people think, do you know what? But I tell you what, it's not as far away as what people.
But that's when it gets a bit scary.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
because there's loads of things out there in the world, and we're not going to dive into it, but. People say that person's died and that's an AI body that's taken them over and stuff like that now.
Do a robbery.
Is
it your AI model spitting image of you?
How are you going to prove it? Him? Yeah. But listen, that's conversation. We can have that another day. We can have that another day. But it is madness. It is madness. You're involved in the acting industry. I never thought acting would be taken over by the AI. That's the truth. But listen, it clearly is.
Yeah.
What movies you got coming up?
So next year I've got 2, possibly 2, with an independent film, a UK independent film company. I can't say what they are yet because we haven't started doing them. But a couple of good ones. Obviously, I'm typecast, so football hooligan.
Yeah.
I don't know, soldier, police officer, prison inmate, or whatever. So it's going to be that type of film. Let's put it like that. And then hopefully I've got something in the States next year, which I had, but I had something nice before COVID. And we lost it because of COVID, and then obviously now the actors' strikes held us up again. But now, hopefully next year, I'm hoping to get out to LA to do a little bit out there as well.
Once you're out there, they always say America's different.
Yeah, well, I'm hoping to. I don't do too bad in the UK already, but I haven't really exploited LA enough, and I've got some good contacts out there. So next year, there's a small team of us who are going to be going out there, I think, just to do some podcasts for one, but also. Do you enjoy
doing podcasts?
I don't mind it. I mean, I've done a lot, so I think for me it's boring, isn't it?
Yeah, fair enough.
Because it's my life, so I know it.
Yeah, no. To be fair with me, to be fair with you, I've filmed over 100 episodes now. If they all had to be about me, I'd lose
you
myself.
do. I mean, like I said, I've done 3 this week, so I mean,
Yeah, you've
I'm
told this
just
story
talking.
plenty of times.
What I do like is people do ask different questions, not all the time.
Yeah, I always say as well, because guests come on and they're like, "But Mikey, I've done X amount of podcasts. You sure you want me on?" I'm like, "Listen, I can ask you questions. They might not have asked you. The way we interact might be completely different to the way you was with."
Exactly. And one thing I do like about it, which I never thought of before I started doing it, is when people do enjoy listening. Yeah. Or I've had a few comments and stuff on Instagram and places like that where people have said, "Oh, I listened to your podcast and it made me go and do this, or it made me go and do that." And I think, do you know what? It's worth going out that day just to, if it did that. Do you know what I mean? So
I saw a comment the other day. It popped up on my thing, and I never read my comments. I said to myself from day one, I don't care enough to read it. My editor phoned me up and was like, "Oh, Mikey, they said you look fat." I was like, "That's cool."
Yeah.
Sweet. I couldn't give a shit.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
But I read a few comments the other day because I have a YouTube coach, and he was like, "Mikey, interact sometimes. Like, say, oh, I saw your comment about this, do it." And I was like, "All right, whatever." Reading through them, and YouTube's a rude place. They're just rude. Who sits there at home and actually writes rude comments?
I know. It's a lot of. Do you know why I see it with bad comments is, if someone's given me a good comment, said thanks very much, I just spent an hour listening to that and it was brilliant, and I'll fall asleep now, or whatever. I think that's nice. Yeah. If someone's sent a bun going, "Well, that's a load of shit. That's an hour I've just wasted. That's crap." The bloke's lying. He's never been in the market. All these things that people can put out. They get a feeling of some sort of satisfaction from doing that. Yeah. So in my mind, I've helped you again then, because I've just given you some sort of satisfaction a buzz of exactly, and that's the way I see it. It's win-win for me.
I think it's weird.
Good or bad.
I think they're weirdos. Me personally, I've never even written a review for a restaurant.
Right.
Never in my life. I don't read reviews. I haven't written reviews because, just completely weird things. I don't comment on things. If I don't like somewhere, I'm just not going back. If I watch this episode and I'm not happy with it, I'm just not going to watch it.
What's the next one or another one? Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Sweet. Well, see you later. Thanks for it, but
yeah. And you got to understand with any business as well, and including with the clothing line and everything else I do, and maybe the films I'm in and that, it's not for everyone.
Yeah,
you're never going to please everybody, and if it's for the majority, great. That's where you want to try and hit really when it's for the majority. And if on occasions things are for the minority, so what? It's never going to be for everyone. So.
Listen, there's plenty of people out there in the world. We're never going to make everyone happy.
No, of course not.
But if I've made one person happy, I'm sweet. I've done my job.
Yeah,
that's my job complete.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
But look, I want to know a little bit about you. Wrap it up on your next 5-year goal. What's the plan?
5-year goal is obviously for the clothing brand to escalate, which it will. You'll see me in a lot more film. That's going to be my next 5-year thing. Plus, hopefully Hollywood.
That's big.
And in how big a part, who knows? But in Hollywood. So
your name's going to be in the credits. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that's what I go for now. Anyway, I go for small parts in big movies. You got to be realistic again. I'm 45 years old. Essentially I was a bodyguard. I'm not a performing arts actor. Blah blah blah. So, that's hopefully within the next 5 years. I'll be 50 by then. But you would have seen me in some Hollywood movies. It's all taken off, and maybe I might still have a security company. You never know.
Listen, at the end of the day, it's your goals. Yeah, no one else can make them. No one else can break them. It's up to you. But I want to ask you a question regarding your mindset. You've been in the military. You've been scared. You've been happy. You've experienced it all. Do you live by a motto or a slogan? Is there something that's your motto?
Not really. I do always say a couple of things really. One is, if I don't like doing it, I won't. And I don't mean like I don't like putting the bins out, so I let the bins fill up in the kitchen all year round. Bins. Yeah. But if I'm in a job that I don't like doing, I won't cut my nose off to spite my face and just leave as such, but very quickly I'll start looking at what I want to do next. How am I going to go about doing that? And I'll make the change. I've always done that. That's why I've done so many different things. If what I spoke about today, because I do things and I think, oh, I'd like a go at that now. I'd like a go at, always have a go at everything. Doesn't matter whether you think you can do it or not. You know, someone said to me, well, be an astronaut. Right, well, you've got to be realistic. 45 years old, obviously astronauts, often scientists as well. Maybe they were fighter pilots as well. I haven't got any of that. But if I really wanted to, I could go to Texas and work in the Kennedy Space Center, in the museum, or in the. You can get closer to it, and you can do. Do you know what I mean?
You can experience.
You can experience it, yeah. So you can do anything, and because of that, you can do anything you want. It might not be that actual particular job, but you can do anything you want if you want to. It just takes thought, time, and hard work. And as soon as you give up on anything, it's the end of it. You're never going to have that. Lucky break. You're never gonna fulfill that dream you wanted to do. You're never gonna make it into a living. If you want a job, you want to make into a living, hobby you want to make into a living, maybe. You're just not. And I think you'd be surprised how many people have given up right at a stage where they might have only had to go on another day even, and they hit the button.
I say to everyone, and we spoke about it, about the other thing I got coming up is, if you don't try, you don't know.
Yeah.
Just try it.
Yeah.
If it don't work, if it's not good, if you don't enjoy it,
what's the worst that can happen again?
It's not going to do well.
Exactly.
Delete it.
Yeah.
If you think starting that new business ain't going to work, you try it. Listen, of course, I'm not saying go and invest all your life savings into it.
No, that's what I mean. You've got to be sensitive about all these
things. You've
got
to be mature and think, okay, let's assess the situation.
Yeah.
But for example, if you want to start a hobby, what's the worst that's going to happen? You're going to quit. At least you tried. If you didn't do it, then you've quit already.
Yeah.
That's my mindset on things as well. And we had a conversation before we started, but it's good speaking to someone with the same mindset.
Yeah.
Because when I say to people, if I don't like it, I'm not doing it, they're like, oh, you're so arrogant, you're so cocky. No, I just don't want to do something I don't
want to do. Yeah, I know. I think what comes with people who do what they want to do, that comes with not doing what they don't want to do as well. When you're that level-headed about I'm going to do this and you make it happen, you're quite level-headed as well when you've made your mind up that you're not doing something.
Yeah.
I think they come together because I don't think there's a sort of an in-between.
And I also respect that some things I'm not good at, I'm not going to do.
Yeah, I'm quite happy. I'm the first to say if I'm shit at something.
Like, but I'd much prefer to be that person who I know I'm good at that. I'm going to smash it. I'm shit at that. I can't kick a ball. Sorry, I'm not going to do it. Like,
you got to play to your strengths as well. That's the thing, and you got realistic play to your strengths. Like if you look at me for acting, like I said, I've been to acting school, but it's not 3 years at Performing Arts. I'm 45 years old. I had no previous acting experience at all, so I'm typecast because of how I look. So what do? I go for action movies because that's more likely what I'm going to do. I've only done screen acting, not theatre, because that's all I need now. You've got to keep everything realistic and don't try and be some sort of gymnast character in something that in a classical movie where you're never going to probably get in. And it's just stick with what you know and what you can do. And then if you do that, the dream will come true.
Yeah. Nice. Listen. Simon, it's a pleasure having you on the show. Is there anything you want to wrap it up on? Anything you want to say to the viewers watching?
Not really. If you want to follow me, you can see everything that I do at simon.newton on Instagram. You can also find me on TikTok. I think that's simon.newton as well.
Listen, if you send me over all the links, you ain't got to
bang
tell
it
them.
in, yeah.
Guys, if you lot want to go and follow Simon on any of his platforms, just scroll down to the description. There will be all of his things there, his website, his Instagram, his TikTok. Follow him, give him a message. And if you ever need security, shout his team. Apparently they're pretty good. Listen, Simon, thank you for coming on.
Cool.
Guys, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you on the next one.